repeater compatibility? I mean, did the customers run into problems where it's like, hey, we wanted to work with it, but it doesn't work with it as well as we thought it would? I mean, have you run into that kind of a thing?
You know what? So I'm going to steal from an old Scott McNeely keynote that I watched, where what he talked about was, in this case, it was competitors, but we can use the analogy. And when looking at the intersection of the enterprise and the cloud, whether it's VMware on the on-premise and Amazon in the public cloud, it's like watching two dump trucks in slow motion in a head-on collision. Because without the interoperability and without the compatibility, you have users that have built technologies and solutions that work on either that are completely mismanaged or at conflict with one another when the two meet. And we saw that as an opportunity inside of CloudStack. And so we focused on extending things inside of the enterprise. So today you can have what we like to call an enterprise scale cloud or a web scale cloud or an Amazon style cloud managed, those types of workloads managed under a single interface being CloudStack. So you can have your scale up VMware stack, or you can have a scale out Amazon style on-prem in your private cloud, and then at the same time recognizing that these same tool sets are going to want to take advantage of a lot of the public cloud resources that are out there. And in fact, many of our largest customers today are effectively moving workloads back and forth between their private data center and their Amazon public cloud. And had we not focused on the interoperability, had we not focused on the ability to leverage some of those tool sets, we wouldn't have had those customers. So that was something we made a decision very early on. It was the whole concept of customer first development. People were asking for Amazon. Martin was the guy who cornered the certified version of that, but we've done our best to make sure that we maintain interoperability and compatibility with the leading public cloud services out there.
The dump truck analogy, just so I'm clear, one truck was VMware. Who was the other truck there?
Well, the Amazon public cloud, right? Because when you look at where developers are, you have your classic IT ops in VMware. They're building app services and components there. At the same time, you have your developers that are writing stuff in the Amazon service. Now, whether you're talking security or whether you're talking style of app, type of language, construct of everything, the two are completely different from one another. And the reality is, while we can sit and talk about the two in isolation, they're quickly coming together. And I think Lydia Leon from Gartner had a great post, I think it was yesterday or the day before, where she talked about the fact that similar to the early days of the internet and the intranet, they were separate, but today it's just the net. The same thing's happening in the cloud, and you can't have isolated workloads where your user has to choose where they run based on understanding all of the underlying stuff. You have to be able to provide both types of services completely abstracted from your users so that they can run based on IT policy or what's going on inside of the business. Mm-hmm. And if you don't figure that out, those two dump trucks are going to smash into one another.